Welcome back. Victorians could be confined to their homes for longer. Restrictions were due to be lifted at midnight tomorrow, but the state's snap lockdown will likely be extended to at least Friday.
Let's get today's take on this with Nine reporter Brett McLeod in Melbourne and Nine Honey's Shelley Horton. Brett, I'll go to you first there. Lockdown number 5, that extension feels like it could be imminent, buddy. What are people feeling down there?
Oh, well, we have experience in these matters, DC, unfortunately. We're waiting for a press conference either later this morning or early this afternoon where we're expected to find out whether the lockdown will end as planned tomorrow night. It does look very unlikely. I'm not sure today we'll find out how long it'll be extended for. The feeling is at least until the end of the week. You know, the contact tracers have done their job. There are no unlinked cases, so that's a really good sign, but there's just too many exposure sites. So all in all, it's just a heavy sigh. It's like, oh yeah, here we go again. I think we've out of the 5 lockdowns, we've only had one that went as long as originally advertised. So you get on with it, but each time it just gets that little bit harder to get out from under the doona, I've got to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a real anxious wait, no doubt. I mean, health officials are expected to make that final call in 24 hours, Shelley. But, you know, should businesses and people be given more warning?
Well, I completely feel for businesses, particularly those who need to stock with fresh food. I can understand that 24 hours is not very much time for them. And there's always this and ah of whether or not it's going to stay locked down. So my heart really does go out for them. But I say to them, rather than get angry, get vaccinated. Because this is your time to actually go out and get the jab, because that's the only way we're going to stop these lockdowns happening. So please go and get the jab, and then we can all try and get on with our lives.
Well, 1 million cases of Pfizer doses, I should say, have just been hit the country. So hopefully we'll get those into arms as soon as possible. But also making news this morning, a maskless premier, Gladys Berejiklian, has sparked confusion over mask rules. After being spotted out on a coffee run, she's mask-free, dressed like Han Solo at Hoff Brett. It's not clear if the Premier actually broke the rules, but it has confused people. I was in a pharmacy yesterday, and my pharmacist said a woman was just in here refusing to wear a mask, saying she had an exemption. And this doesn't help that, even though she might be within the rule-making here at the Premier.
Oh, look, I'm not big on mask shaming, but I think when you are the leader of the state, you have to be the best kid in class all the time, especially in public. And even though she may well have been within her rights not to wear a mask, and that's not breaking the rules, I still would have done it. I still would be setting the example of wearing a mask any time she's out in public, because it is setting an example. It's saying to people we need to do this if we're going to get through what looks like it will be quite an extended lockdown in Sydney. So it's not a hanging offence. It's just a bad look, and would have been better for her just to pop a mask on.
I mean, she was drinking a coffee and she was social distancing, Shelley. So she may not have broken the rules, but do you think people are being too harsh on Gladys? I mean, I was just happy to see her out with a boyfriend having a coffee.
Leave Gladys alone! I cannot believe this outrage and front page story. Even in that paper, when you read the article, it's about paragraph 15 that it says we're not actually implying that the Premier has done anything wrong. You can take your mask off to drink coffee. If you are eating or drinking, you can't have a mask on. So I think that Gladys has been doing an incredible job. She is exhausted. And for me to see her actually outside holding hands with her new boyfriend, getting a coffee, I think she deserves that break. So I think leave her alone and don't have a front page splash saying that she's ruining everything, and then 27 paragraphs later say, oh, by the way, we're not implying that she's done anything wrong. Because seriously, you are implying it.
Oh, welcome back to Media Watch with Shelley Horton, everybody. Fantastic stuff there. It's good to know you've got a new job there, Shelley, up in Queensland. Shelley and Brett are going to stay with us when we come back. Testing times for Tokyo as 3 athletes test positive to COVID-19.
And move over, Brett Sutton. There's a new spokesperson Victoria is swooning over. Yes, this one. That's next.
This one?
From that one? The countdown is on. Tokyo's Olympic Village is fast becoming a COVID hotspot, though. With 3 cases confirmed so far, concerns are high, with the opening just days away.
Brett McLeod and Shelley Horton are still here to discuss this. Brett, the village is expected to house thousands of athletes. How do they think they're going to contain these outbreaks?
I can't imagine anyone's at all surprised by this. You've got people coming from all over the world to one spot, even with the best will in the world. A lot of these countries don't have the best of screening procedures, and so for them to arrive in Tokyo and then test positive, as a couple of athletes and quite a few officials have, is not a complete surprise. How you can possibly contain it when you have thousands of people milling around at the same time, I don't know. And it may not be until the games are well underway that we do find out whether there has been an outbreak proper. Look, I don't know how many people are excited about the Olympics. So I find it hard to get into something like this. But maybe is it a diversion we need at a time like this? I'm not sure. But, man, this is going to be a real problem for those in Tokyo.
But if we're in lockdown, I want to watch anything.
Just take whatever.
I've been watching old Teletubby episodes.
But, Shelley, you really feel for these, athletes and competitors because, they're sitting there, they're hopefully going to fulfil their dreams and soon they, just may be dashed.
Yeah, I think we've got to remember that these people have trained for probably most of their lives and tapered so that they are at their absolute peak physical best. So I think that a lot of them would want to give it their shot, even though they know the risks. Now, the thing is, of course, they can pull out if they are feeling unsafe or it is affecting their mental health. And no one in Australia would judge anyone on the team if they said, I'm just not feeling safe enough over here. But for some of them, I think that they are going to take the risk because it is fulfilling their lifelong dream. And so therefore, it's up to them to make the choice, really.
Well, let's hope they can get on top of it. Moving on, 2020 was the year the country decided Victoria's Chief Health Officer, Brett Sutton, was a bit of a snack.
Bit of a what?
A bit of a snack.
Oh.
With the hashtag Sexy Sutton trending, fans dubbing themselves Suttonettes and some even renaming him Chief Swoon Officer.
Yeah.
Shelley, we remember this. We love a silver fox, but it looks like there's a new man to lust over. Victoria's COVID-19 response commander, Jeroen Weimar, has hit poster boy status now, and you can even buy merch with his face on it, Shelley.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I'm not going to be jumping on board this love train. I think that if it was a female health officer and we had a cushion where you could sit on her face, we would be outraged. So I think that this is not actually cool. It's a bit creepy. I really do appreciate that he's handled this with a sense of humour. But I think, you know what, if we want equality, don't do, stunts like this. It's just not cool for either sex.
Good
So
for you
won't
Shelley.
be buying that duvet then, Shelley?
No, she won't be buying it. Good for you, Shelley. I like that.
No,
Although,
I like it too.
If there was a Kerry Chant T-shirt, I'd wear it, Brett. Victoria needs something to smile about, though. What about that in the bathroom or a mug?
Well, I don't know if I'll be rushing out to buy that. It's funny, when Jeroen Weimar ran the trains in Victoria, I don't know if anyone was swooning over him then. But you've heard about beer goggles. I think there's COVID goggles, as in because we're in lockdown, you're staring at the screen a lot of the day and you're staring at their faces and they're giving really important information and we feel very emotionally attached to the information that's coming out. And
We're looking
that's
at
right.
them.
He's
We
a
need
very good
comforting.
communicator.
These people are in charge of our lives, so maybe there's a little bit of, power transference going on. So I kind of get that. I agree with Shelley, though. It's really unhealthy, and there's probably more important things to concentrate on.
Maybe it's just in the name
Perhaps it's a little
Brett.
bit.
What was that, Shelley?
Perhaps it's a little Stockholm syndrome because we're all addicted to that 11 a.m. presser. Maybe it's Stockholm syndrome rather than
indeed.
COVID goggles.
Thanks
Thanks,
both of you
team.
for being here. Good to see you.
See ya.
I'm in for that Kerry Chant T-shirt too.
Me too.
Next on Today Extra, Unleash Your...